helping the rescue crews find you if you sink in the sippy hole. Just look for the wing. It might be sticking out. Oh, and it looks like we got big problems for Gary Seward. He is really slowing down, Steve. This could be just what Charity Palmer needs.
Absolutely, but I would tell you it'll get her a little bigger trophy, but it won't help her as far as the competition the rest of the day. It's brutal down here, gang. There is no second chances. You win your heat or you're out of here.
Seward going down in the sippy hole, and here comes Charity paddling for all she's worth.
All right, and the crowd goes wild. Charity, steer the thing out of here. There you go. All right, back up the bank and into the pits goes Charity. Roger McCandless goes to the intermediate feature, and waiting for the hook is Hound Dog.
Brought to you by the more than 700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the right parts at the right price.
In Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, people drive for miles around just to see Don Ballard. Because when it comes to car repair, well, there's not much he can't fix. You see, Don's the type of guy who believes that doing a job right and saving money go hand in hand. So he begins each job with a trip to AutoZone. Sure, it's a 20-mile drive. There are other parts stores along the way. But for Don, when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
What'd you get?
Western Whopper.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's got bacon and cheddar and a tangy barbecue sauce.
How tangy is it? Is it really tangy?
Not super tangy. It's good.
And tangy?
Not too tangy.
No.
The flame-broiled Whopper, now with cheddar cheese, hickory smoked bacon, and barbecue sauce. The Western Whopper, for a limited time at Burger King.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah?
How tangy? What'd they say?
Live NASCAR action on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Oh, yeah? What's this?
Miller Genuine Draft presents the Win with a Driver sweepstakes.
Check it out.
You could win a trip for two to one of these Winston Cup races covered live by TNN Motorsports.
Be part of the action.
Meet Rusty Wallace. Tour the pits with the Penske Miller Genuine Draft race team. And if Rusty wins the race, you win $5,000. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address. And remember, there's 7 races, so you've got 7 chances to win.
Get your entry in by September 1st and tune in race day September 9th to find out if you're going to the MDNA 500. If you don't win, you're still eligible for the next drawing.
See you at the track.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, Split Fire Spark Plugs, and Purolator.
Welcome back to the Mile of Mud at Florida Sports Park in Naples. Let's send it down to Steve Evans with Roger McCandless, winner of the 6-cylinder 2-wheel drive heats.
It's high tide out there, Roger?
Yeah, we're about 6-8 inches too deep today.
Too deep?
Too deep, yeah. My skis were, I struggled all the way. You know, a 390 CFM Holly with a 275 cubic inch, more than I can stand.
Sure sounded crisp, though.
Yeah, it's crisp. I dropped to a 24-to-1 gear to try to fight that water, but this little engine just can't take it.
Hard on bars.
It's a pretty stout little engine, too, and that'll give you a good example of just how much of a difference that 6 to 8 inches will make in the water. And that is not a helmet you will find at your local Simpson dealer.
No, it's not. That's on the noggin of Glenn Weber. He is in the Scalded Hog, and this is the first of the stock class buggies. V8s here. They make quite a bit of power, even though they're just about box stock. That's Tick Van Wee and Scared Stiff. Tick, a real veteran of the swamp buggy competition in this class. Now, the third buggy in this heat is the one to beat. That is Bonnie Jolly in Fatal Attraction. Bonnie, on a good day, can even run with the modified buggies. But there's a new rule here in this class as well, and earlier I checked it out. That is Bonnie Jolly's hat, and we're in Bonnie Jolly's pit to tell you about a new engine rule in the stock classes. It does not affect the engine size. That's already done. It has to be stock. What it does affect is the amount of time and money a crew is willing to spend on one of these power plants. You see, it's called claiming, kind of like in horse racing. Before the event, any competitor for $2,000 can claim any other competitor's motor. At the end of the day, they get that engine blown up or perfect, just however it happens to turn out. Again, this is done to try to reduce the cost, to keep them from spending too much cash and keep participation up.
There's a good look at Bonnie Jolly, who got upside down last year at this event. There's a look at our buggy cam. You're going to get to go for a ride right in the middle of the mile of mud, as you saw a good look at the view that Bonnie Jolly has.
Bonnie's husband, Don Jolly, is one of the real hot and modified racers. He's one of the guys not real pleased with the new engine rules. Look at Bonnie. She was right on the light. Bonnie Jolly in the center lane asserts herself in fatal attraction.
Boy, she got a great jump on the rest of the competition. She's just pulling away.
And look at the skis working just perfectly. Her husband, Don, has got them set up for this higher level in the swamp, and everybody else just kind of slogging along.
This is absolutely no competition at all. She's got half a lap on them already, Steve.
Well, Bonnie is so smooth. I mean, she really is an excellent driver.
Grab your snorkel. Here comes the sippy hole.
That's right, up scope. Bonnie just went through it clean as a whistle. And this is Glenn Weber, the scalded hog. And he has to hope that Bonnie Jolly breaks. In fact, he's so far behind him, she broke, he might not be able to catch her. There's Bonnie taking a pretty good ride. These things will beat you up.
This is the final big turn, Steve. That last right-hander, you can see her using both hands. These are not the easiest things to steer. She hauls that big beast around to the right. One last run up the front straightaway and a checkered flag for Bonnie Jolly.
So Bonnie Jolly and our camera advance to the V8 finals. There'll be several heats here. That claiming rule possibly has led to some more participation, a lot of stock buggies. So headed for that little ramp that takes her back to the pits. It's real pretty back in there. Lots of pine trees and palmettos. Nice atmosphere. There's the scalded hog. He heads back to the pig pen with the second place in hand. And let's have another look at the start. Bonnie Jolly, she was impressive.
It was all in the start for Bonnie Jolly. Once she got out front, Steve, she just put them all in the drink. You get stuck behind these things, and it's hard to see around another swamp buggy's wake. Let's go down to the pits now, where Steve Evans is caught up with our winner.
Well, Bonnie would be Jolly, even if it wasn't her last name, right?
Definitely.
How's the buggy running?
Real good. The water's a little bit deep, but other than that, it's good.
Everybody is saying the water is deep. What's perfect? I mean, where should it be?
It should be like another good foot or so lower, because I'm really getting washed in here, and there's times that my helmet's covered. I can't see where I'm at on the track, and I never get wet.
Boy, she's soaked today, Bug.
No Nomex here, just a pair of jeans and a T-shirt, and you go racing. If you're a high-dollar team, now maybe you wear a clean pair of jeans or a clean T-shirt.
Well, that is Even Steven. Phil Macy is staging up for yet another V8 stock battle. It's the heat race. Jumpin' Jack Goddard. He's in the middle of this threesome. And on the inside is George Blaze Jr., the buggy called Some Kind of Wonderful. What he needs is some kind of a wonderful start from that position. Jumpin' Jack Goddard, eyeing that lineup guy. Those big implement tires on the back. The front tires, a lot of them are off a apparatus called a hay rake. And I really wonder how they take the side loading that these drivers inflict on them. Automatic transmissions. Woo, and Even Steven, Phil Macy's on the inside, got a great start.
Boy, did he ever. And he is really motoring away on the inside. The middle buggy, Jack Goddard, he's done. He's stuck in the water. It looked like George Blaze was going to make a run at Phil, but right now Macias is pulling away.
Well, I think Blaze intentionally went wide to the right to try to get out of the spray so he could see where he needed to go. And hanging on to that roll cage for stability is Phil Macias in the Even Steven buggy. He's got a pretty good lead, but don't give up on George Blaze Jr. Fire extinguisher. Yeah, you really need a fire extinguisher on one of these things.
Down into the sippy hole goes George Blaze.
The sippy hole, as you all know, it's become lore, named after a guy named Morris from Mississippi who never one time got through it. Sippy, get it? Even Steven. I'll tell you, this course is abusive. Believe it or not, in the fall route, they drain this swamp and race stock cars in the bottom. They chew it all up, and then they just flood it again for the swamp buggy race.
What do they do with the sippy hole when they drain it?
You have to leap it. It's pretty exciting.
I'm liking it. You know, I'm thinking one of the reasons why he's going to the outside, Steve, is because maybe the water is a little bit thinner out there, not quite as deep, and he's getting through it a little bit quicker.
You know, I think you're right. Excellent observation for your rookie year in the swamps. I'm proud of you.
Hey, well, I've watched you guys down here for a lot of years.
Well, I tell you, ooh, and they got a problem there with Jack Goddard. Jumpin' Jack is no longer moving, let alone jumping. But there's a lady having a good time. Little urban cowboy down here in the swamp. Stick around. We'll be right back. I don't know about her.
It happens in the hospital. It happens at home. It's the onset of heartburn. It's an attack of acid indigestion. For these stomach flare-ups, the #1 choice of hospitals is Maalox. Hospitals know that nothing works faster to rush heartburn relief. Now you know it too. Fast-acting Maalox. Hospitals can count on it for speed, and that's just what you need. Maalox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for home. In fast-acting Maalox tablets too.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASC certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
There's one name these drivers turn to for the quality parts that give their cars the edge they need to perform and win. The same name you should turn to for the only parts guaranteed to perform in your Chrysler Corporation vehicle. Authentic Mopar parts, available from your Chrysler Corporation dealer. Get real. Get Mopar.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
5 minutes.
Free flea spray. Now you can get free flea spray and pet shampoo when you call 1-800-TERMINEX for new service and say, free flea spray 5 times fast.
Hello, Terminex.
Flea spray. It's that easy.
Welcome back to the Florida Sports Park in Naples, Florida. Smells as good as it looks, too. Steve's running around down to the pits. Let's catch up with him.
Well, to the victor go the spoils, I guess. You whipped him good, Phil.
Yeah, thanks.
Motor's running hot. Is that because the water's so high it's just hard on it?
Not really. We're running up about 180. We got 2 radiators back there. We keep it pretty cool.
Tell me your impressions of the racetrack, the surface under the water.
The racetrack, the water's high. I tried to go around, way to the outside, try to see if it was a little shallower, but it's still pretty rough out there.
Okay, continued good luck. Here's your trophy.
Yeah, but he's got to give it back to Evan so he can give it to the next guy when they win this next heat. And look who just might be picking it up. The king of the swamps himself, Leonard Chesser, and that's the one.
Now, these are the modified buggies. We're out of the stock class here. Leonard riding a 2-race win streak after going 8 years without a win in the big feature.
Now, Leonard's taking on Don Jolly, and Don is back after taking a few races off. Earlier, Steve took a look at how Don's living with the new rules in this class.
Don Jolly was at the forefront of the bigger is better motor movement. He does not like the new rules. Now, he detests them, but he's going to fight back by taking weight off the Psycho Buggy. Already, they have removed 500 pounds, 100 in each wheel. Now, the wheel is covered with these hydrodynamic covers. I asked him if he'd take one off, we could see it. He said, no. My guess is got to be aluminum spokes, a space tube kind of a deal. Also, they're not going to be going as fast, so he reduces some weight here in the wing area. Instead of steel struts, they're aluminum. Should be just fine. Another place he took weight off without sacrificing safety was a brand new roll cage. It's just better engineered. It'll do the job if he gets upside down. Now, he may have a 480 cubic inch engine now. That's the new rule. But he's got the best of everything, including a set of cylinder heads designed by the very well-known late Lee Shepard for Superstock drag racing. And you can bet everything under these valve covers is the best Jolly can find.
Lee Shepard certainly knew how to make some horsepower, and Don Jolly's not afraid to spend some money, obviously.
This is the very first time, though, that Jolly has run this motor. I'm not even sure he owns it. I think somebody loaned it to him, and he hopped it up a bit. Ooh, great start by Jolly. Terrific start. He's got the inside line. Here comes Leonard across his bow.
Steve, he wants to get over as quick as he can, kick that spray back up in Jolly's face, slow him down if he can.
I tell you, there's something wrong with the Jolly Buggy. It's just not making the kind of power it should. There he tries to get in the shallower water. That's how Leonard attacks. No holds barred, which is why Leonard has broken down so many times in the swamp with a wheel or two missing. He just will show it no mercy. Jolly, right now, he's thinking, I want my big motor back.
Well, remember, it's a one-race deal, so poor Don Jolly's day is over. It looks like the old king of the swamp is going to motor on through the day.
Leonard has done plenty of dirt track car racing, and I think you just saw a little of that style as he was steering left to keep the rear end from coming around too much. Look at Leonard, huh? Is that the master? Is that a portrait of concentration? Is that a winner? Uh-huh. Leonard wins the first heat, and some would consider this an upset over Don Jolly, but with the new regulations, Jolly just not quite up to speed yet. So he's trailered up. Now he can work on Bonnie's buggy.
You can be sure he'll have that thing figured out by the next time he goes to run it, though. It's not going to sit well with Don Jolly at all that he not only lost, but lost by so much. So while Don Jolly loads his up, Leonard Chesser gets his crew working on his already. They want to get in there and take a look at things, see how it's holding up. Steve's already made his way over there, and he's going to talk to our winner, the king, Leonard Chesser.
There you go. All right.
Well, there he is, his royal swampness. Leonard, what do you think?
I don't know. It'll be a hard day today.
You had your guys start taking the sheet metal off right away. Anything wrong?
Yeah, we ain't got no oil pressure here. Something's happened to something there.
Can't get any worse than no oil pressure. He reminds you of Waylon Jennings a little bit.
Don't you hate it when something's happened to you or something? Well, Waylon Jennings or not, he still is the king of the swamp. Now, if he just get his something fixed, he might be ready to roll again.
Hey, Leonard don't need oil. All right, this is the final heat race of the V8 stock class. It has been some of the best racing here in the swamp. And that is Jimmy Doria, Texas Law. He has drawn the outside. In the middle will be Sean Van Wee, the Pure Luck buggy, and closest to our camera at the start will be Jerry Fraley in the Bad Attitude. They draw for position. And favorite would be where Jimmy Doria is on the inside there. That's the quickest way into, if you can call it, turn 1A. The Dorias have a lot of experience here in the swamp, but it's showing right now. Jimmy Doria on his way. You know, I talked about that claiming rule earlier, Ralph. Well, last race they had a double claim in the stock category. Bonnie Jolly claimed Jimmy Doria's motor, and Jimmy Doria claimed Bonnie Jolly's motor. So it was just kind of a standoff.
And we got Van Wee in the drink here, Steve, with no power. Looks like his day is done. So Sean Van Wee's Pure Luck is out of it this year.
The only way you get a red flag in swamp buggy racing is if somebody gets upside down. Other than that, negotiate around them. Jerry Fraley, Bad Attitude. He's going to the outside, as Ralph suggested earlier. Might be the quickest line. Ooh, look at that. It's only about 4 inches deep on the left front wheel.
You don't want to get too close to that wall, Steve, because it can catch a wake and throw you right into it. Plus, it's the longer way around the racetrack.
Ralph, a quiz. What is the biggest difference between swamp buggy racing and any other form of motorsports?
Absolutely everything.
You can't see the racetrack.
That's it.
Imagine putting a foot of fog on Daytona and saying, okay, boys, go out there and run her. All right, there is Jimmy Doria, Texas Law. He has won it, but not given up. He's going to make the most of his afternoon because it'll be all over when he crosses the finish line. Jerry Fraley, Bad Attitude. Sean Van Wee and Pure Luck had some mechanical problems.
But you might as well take your laps because there's nowhere where you can go practice this stuff.
Unless it's in a car wash. Okay, we will be right back. Stay with us, folks. Stay dry.
How to achieve success.
For me, it's the details. In golf, that means taking it one stroke at a time. And at Jiffy Lube, we do it one car at a time. And we offer the quality of Pennzoil. So even though we've serviced almost 100 million cars, the one that matters most is the one we're working on now.
If it doesn't say Jiffy Lube, it just isn't Jiffy Lube.
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors. I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
Light 'em up, but don't smoke 'em.
It's do or die.
There's only one way out.
You gotta take it to the limit.
Whatever it takes.
Cause this is the big one.
It's the granddaddy of them all.
Live from Indianapolis Raceway Park, it's the U.S. Nationals. Monday, September 4th, 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central.
The NHRA on TNN Motorsports. Doesn't get any closer.
What's the most popular spectator sport in America? You got it, motorsports. And if you love roaring engines, hot cars, and cool drivers, there's one pit stop you just have to schedule. The TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland. From August 24th till September 4th, you can step into the thrilling world of motorsports, meet your favorite drivers, see classic show cars, stock up on motorsports collectibles, and take part in fascinating hands-on exhibits. In addition, your Salute to Motorsports ticket includes a fun-packed day at Opryland Theme Park with dazzling musical shows and thrilling rides, including the breathtaking new coaster, the Hangman. So if you really want to get close to motorsports, bring the whole family to the TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland, a Gaylord Entertainment Company. For more information, call 615-889-6611.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Mile of Mud on American Sports Cavalcade. You've been enjoying this kind of programming from Naples, Florida for about a dozen years now. I'm Steve Evans. I've been here for all dozen, but I got a rookie with me, Ralph Shaheen. But boy, he's made a good call so far. I'm impressed.
Well, Steve, we were talking about the depth of the water, and it's been making a big difference here today where the drivers are going, which lines they're choosing. And we're seeing that most of them are moving to the outside. Terry Langford is one of the true veterans of this racetrack in the old rubber duck. He's even lowered his buggy, trying to get down even lower to the water and improve the handling of his machine.
But I don't think he anticipated the height of the swamp. That's not something they can guess on or even regulate.
You never know until you get there that morning. And in fact, that lower buggy might even have a bigger problem with the depth of this water.
Albert Doria in showdown. Rubber Duck, Terry Langford, we've seen him win many times here. I'll tell you, Rubber Duck just looks like it's drowning in the water. And look at the higher buggy with less water resistance, Albert Doria. That's the shot from Rubber Duck.
Langford taking the run silent, run deep approach as that buggy just goes down too low in this deep water, I think, Steve.
Oh, yeah, the skis aren't even at the right attitude. Langford has won so much here that I'm sure it's a bitter pill to swallow, even though he has plenty of water to swallow it with, as Albert Doria makes sure of that in showdown. The Doria brothers, Jimmy and Albert, they're real, real good. Jimmy in the stock class, Albert here at Pro Mod.
If you get a good look at the front wheels, you'll notice that they spend a lot of time out of the depth of the water, so they're not really spinning all that much. They're not rotating as fast as the big wheels in the back.
Yeah, for sure. Albert Doria's buggy isn't going to win the Best Engineered Award, but it is ideally set up. Look at his skis. Langford's not having that kind of luck. His skis are under the water.
Langford brings it on across the checkered flag, but unfortunately, he finishes second to Albert Doria. He finished second here, and your afternoon is over with at the Mile of Mud.
And it's possible that Terry Langford, along with Don Jolly, is suffering mental and mechanical disadvantages here under the new rules because they haven't run this kind of combination. Albert Doria has always run kind of an economical little 488-inch motor, and he's making it cook here today.
Well, Doria really got that thing running well, and once he got out front, it was all over with. You can see how that machine was just digging. It kept skipping right across the top of the water. They even negotiated some of the biggest problems in the depths of the mud. Here's Steve.
Seldom does anybody win that big over Rubber Duck, but Albert Doria has done it today. He's great in the swamp, but he's having a hard time getting his helmet off. That could be the toughest part of racing sometimes, right, Albert? I tell you, that was a nice win, huh?
Sure was. That's a good one there.
I don't think you expected it to be quite that easy.
No, it wasn't that easy. No, I didn't expect. I don't know where he was at back there.
What are you going to tell the guys? What do you want them to do?
What guys? There ain't nothing to do but just clean her up and get ready for the next race.
Boy, if they were all like that.
Thank them all, that's for sure. They're a great group here. I want to thank them all supporting me and all my sponsors, all my thanks, and my wife and my kids.
He's getting the hang of it.
Well, next up, a buggy all good beer drinkers are pulling for. Yes, sir. Eddie Chester's Outlaw.
Eddie was able to hook up with the Heilman Brewing Company, what's believed to be the biggest sponsorship deal in Swamp Buggy history. Eat your heart out, Roger Penske. I tell you, he's made the whole buggy look like a beer can.
Just hope this beer can float. This is the only heat in the Pro Mod four-wheel drive class, so the winner here will go right on to the feature. And George Lashley, number 106, the Easy Duck, is going to be the beer can's challenger.
Eddie's father, Lonnie, owns the buggy and formerly drove it to a number of King of the Swamp titles. They used to race in the two-wheel drive class, but thought, why are we constantly running Uncle Leonard? Why don't we get into a different class where we've got 2 shots at it to keep the Swamp title in the family? I guess that means you're ready when you hit yourself in the top of the head. I'll tell you, there's a lot of power. They've been doing a little practicing with the Eddie Chester buggy, and I think it's showing.
Well, that beer can motor.
Head-on shot, it looks a little like the Spruce Goose. Eddie Chester. Eddie's been hurting a little bit. Almost didn't drive today because of an injury he suffered, not in competition, but in his normal life. But Lonnie said, Eddie, ooh, and he's getting a beating there, too. And Lonnie wanted the kid to drive there. He said, he's cooler than I am. George Lashley, Easy Duck, doing the best he can. He's not even sure where Eddie is.
Once you get behind those big sprays, I mean, it's tough not to see the race course below you, but you get behind those big sprays, it's like driving into a cloud. You can't see anything.
Nope, you sure can't. Whoa, and Eddie has a lot of confidence in his equipment to pitch it in that hard. Side loading those wheels like that, you hit a rut, it puts you right out.
Checker flag falls for Eddie Chester, the Outlaw. The big beer can goes on to the final.
And you notice Eddie's buggy was handling the rough stuff a lot better. Maybe that's the four-wheel drive aspect of it, where you intentionally get all 4 wheels down instead of trying to float the front 2.
Well, it just motored right over any of the big dips or boulders or rocks or whatever could be hidden underneath that water. But it had no problem getting through it at all. Steve caught up with the beer can driver.
Eddie had a big lead. Were you taking it easy on the backstretch? It sure sounded like it.
Not really. I wasn't. I stayed on it off the line to the first hole, and after I seen he wasn't nowhere around me, I did take it easy a little bit. But then it seemed like when I was starting to take it easy, the transmission started acting up on me. So then I nailed it again and it came back. So I don't know, we might have something wrong with our transmission or not.
What was your motivation, you and your family, for going 4-wheel drive? You were in the 2-wheel class for years.
Right, the 2-wheel drive class used to be the faster class, and everybody wanted to be in the faster class, of course. And then we started butting heads with my uncle a lot. Yeah. And so we made a deal. We'd move out of that class and move into this class, 4-wheel drive. That's me and my dad thought that we could get a 4-wheel drive to go faster.
Ooh. The Chesters have them surrounded now.
Eddie's wife, Kimberly, waiting by as her husband climbs out victorious. And the big beer can. We come back, we'll see how he does in the feature. Stay with us.
When it comes to roping a steer, folks in Grand Junction, Colorado will tell you that Ron Markin can ride with the best of them. And when it comes to overhauling an engine or rebuilding a carburetor, well, he can do it all. You see, when Ron's not riding a horse for fun, he's turning a wrench for a living. So he buys a lot of parts, mostly from AutoZone. Sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Ron knows that when you want the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
It happens in the hospital. It happens at home. It's the onset of heartburn. It's an attack of acid indigestion. For these stomach flare-ups, the #1 choice of hospitals is Maalox. Hospitals know that nothing works faster to rush heartburn relief. Now you know it too. Fast-acting Maalox. Hospitals can count on it for speed, and that's just what you need. Maalox, the first choice for hospitals, the fast choice for home. In fast-acting Maalox tablets too.
This is the story of 2 houses. 4 years ago, the Taylor house was painted. In the same year, the Baker house had beautiful vinyl siding from Sears installed. Today, the Taylor house is peeling and cracking again. But the Baker house, with vinyl siding from Sears, looks as good as the day it was installed.
If you want to enhance the beauty of your entire home, or if you have a brick home with just hard-to-paint eaves or overhangs, do it right with virtually maintenance-free vinyl siding from Sears. Call right now and make no payments with no interest accrual until January 1996 on premium vinyl siding.
So if you want your home to look fresh and new year after year and enjoy big savings, don't pick up a paintbrush, pick up a phone and call for your free estimate now.
Call 1-800-641-9911 now and make no payments with no interest accrual until January 1996. This is a limited time offer, so act now.
Airboats, mechanical bull riding, it's all like a steaming bowl of gumbug. Swamp buggy races have a little bit of everything. Although some may find it a bit hard to stomach, Steve took a look at the flavor of the swamp.
You know, there's not really much here at the Swamp Buggy races that could be considered politically correct. I mean, what about the alligator wrestling? I'm sure somebody out there's got a problem with that. Looked like a fair fight to me. One alligator, one Indian. What about throwing the queen in the swamp? Anybody got a problem with that? Hey, she looks forward to it. The fans love it. It's a tradition here in the swamp. And the food here is best described by, well, the Swamp Buggy Flyer, the greatest variety of the world's most fattening junk food. You talk about truth in advertising. I have avoided all of those temptations, but I think I just met my match. The giant half-pound juicy cheeseburger. Hey, a guy has got to eat, but I'm not completely crazy. That is a Diet Pepsi. I did have him hold the chips. God, don't tell my wife, please.
Yeah, your secret's safe with me, Steve. And for you Jeep lovers, well, this is the main course, the Jeep Class Final.
And you know, this is the only class in which we have ever seen a fist fight in the swamp in the middle of the race.
And you've actually raced this once, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact. I drove a non-politically correct titled buggy, Reefer Madness, which is no longer on the scene, but that's another story.
Did you inhale?
No, I did not, as a matter of fact. I was so far behind, I was getting water from every buggy. And I got deathly sick the next day because there was some microbe in that water that I'm not quite conditioned to. Now look at all the plumbing, okay? That's to keep water from going down a carburetor, because these things actually do get submerged in the sippy hole, as you'll soon see. And the real winner here is the makers of silicone, because you've got to wrap the spark plugs, everything electrical, with all that clear goop to hope that it doesn't short out. And great names like Udden. It's the sound of the motor. You get it? Udden. Listen to it.
I'll buy the cheeseburger bit, but the Udden I'm having trouble with.
Hey, let me tell you, half the fun is naming your Jeep. There's Stinkfoot. That's Doug McCorvey. Who else have we got out there? All right, we got a whole bunch of them. This is the fun. We got Double Trouble, Wide Open. Imagine that. Little Toot, Lunatic Fringe, my personal favorite, Udden, Swift Kick, and Wet Willie. That's the lineup, guys.
He's counting to see how many guys he's got to pass.
I think he was looking for a starting slot there, you know, kind of like a horse that gets lost behind the gate. But Little Toot, buggy number 29, from my personal experience, could be the machine to beat. Now, these are primarily the little four-cylinder Willys Jeep motors. They don't make a whole lot of horsepower, especially when they're grounded in the mud like they are here. But, whoa, look at this. We got a train wreck for a start. A little bumping and grinding going on there.
I think I've seen this ride at a carnival somewhere, haven't I?
Hey, boy, I'd pay. Looks like a good woo in there. See what I mean? That's
boy.
why you got all the bread.
Grab your snorkel.
That's right. That's why the air cleaners are up on top of the roll bars.
Do they provide goggles for these guys, too, or is it bring your own?
Well, you know what I've always wondered is, you know, weight to horsepower is everything. Why? Since some of them carry a passenger. I guess it's a navigator or somebody to, I don't know, cheat for you. It just seems to me you'd want to lose 150, 200 pounds.
What a country. Only in this country would you see Jeep racing through the swamps like this. Steve, maybe we need to call Humpy Wheeler over at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and see if we can get him to flood the tri-oval section over there. Maybe we can do this right there at CMS.
And then call Elliot Forbes Robinson and tell him to start making legend swamp buggies.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
I'll tell you, they're looking around. It is, you know, it's a lot more fun to do maybe than it is to watch. Well, we got one dead sideways. He saved it. Pretty physical. I'll tell you, Little Toot is back in the pack, and that surprises me a bit. That has been a buggy, or a Jeep actually, to always watch for in the final.
All kidding aside, you want to be pretty smooth with that steering wheel. You can see the guys that are going back and forth across the straightaway here. They're the ones that are losing a lot of time. The straighter you can keep it, or maybe get a push from behind like this guy's doing up here in the lead, That'll help you. A little bit of bump drafting.
I think that's Little Toot coming through. And here's the challenge. This separates the Jeeps from the submarines. The Sippy Hole.
The minnows from the salmon.
That's right. Well, Mike Denny in double trouble. He got out of there just fine. That's the number 39 Jeep. I guess that was his fuel tank. You can see that clear thing. I think they have done everything they can to light these Jeeps up. Very few of them have much of a floorboard left. They've drilled holes everywhere they can. The headlights are gone. You name it, they've stripped it. But a lot of these guys also use these as real hunting buggies, which is where this whole kind of a machine came from. They're out in the glades having some fun, hopefully in season. See, some of the water is getting into the carburetor, and that can't be doing the motors any good when you see that moisture coming out of those little stovepipes. Ooh, gosh. I'll tell you, that big hole in the backstretch is darn near the depth of the Sippy Hole.
And, you know, these Jeeps are not exactly short vehicles either. That'll give you an idea just how deep that Sippy Hole is.
All right, here comes Udden. Got plenty of ballast. Got that push bar in the front in case it gets really physical. Little bitty carburetor. I'll tell you, hey, this is good stuff.
This, you know, you gotta love this.
And Jerry Parody's number 29, Little Toot, has pushed to the front.
Swift Kick is running in second in the orange and yellow Jeep. And Udden, your favorite, Steve, is running back there in third with Vicky Rister.
Ralph, it's all in the pronunciation. It's Udden.
That's why you're the expert.
It's true. Trying to make a move on the inside through the Sippy Hole. The flag just yards away, but it's going to be Little Toot. Swift Kick and Udden.
Co-driver's just happy they survived. Well, here it was, in case you missed it. The pass for the lead. Somewhere in the middle of all that water is Little Toot chugging to the front. Snorkel high in the air, periscope up. They make their way to victory circle. Wet Willie's Gene Johnson has to paddle to the finish line. Let's go to the pits with Steve.
Well, congratulations, you guys. That was one of the best Jeep finals I've seen in a long time.
A tough one. That was a real tough one. I had to fight for that.
How did you get behind there for a while?
We just all grouped up in the Sippy Hole, and what happened, you know.
I tell you, this little four-banger was really, had some power.
Well, we do a lot of hard work on it. I hope it does. Hope it does real good.
And the hardest thing with the Jeeps is to keep them running on all four.
Yeah, waterproofing is real crucial when it comes to the ignition and stuff like that. It is hard to keep them running on all four cylinders. Little Toot, onto the little feature.
It's hard to keep all that chew in the front of your lip dry, too, but that's a key to winning, too. Evans, he's hiding the burgers. Somebody get more mustard for him, would you please? We'll be back.
Even at 101 years of age, we here at Kelly Springfield like to keep active. Although occasionally, we have to stop and catch your breath. Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
Hunters, it's the 9th annual Fall Hunting Classic at Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World in Springfield, Missouri. The greatest hunting show and sale of the year. Free seminars by top hunters, Bullmasters World Championship 3D pop-up tournament, hands-on demonstrations with the latest gear and accessories, the incredible Monster Whitetail collection, thousands of dollars in door prizes, and admission is free. Don't miss the Fall Hunting Classic at Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World in Springfield, Missouri.
Now, a brief on the Olympic Games from Haynes.
At the first games, athletes competed without clothes. Of course, you can't blame them. Sure beats this. That's too brute. Today, there's Haynes, and all this variety can make anyone more stylish. Well, almost anyone. I'm Michael Jordan, and you've been briefed.
Free flea spray, free. Now you can get free flea spray and pet shampoo when you call 1-800-TERMINEX for new service and say free flea spray 5 times fast.
Hello, Terminex.
Flea spray. It's that easy.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
Time now for the stock V8 finals. Too much heat, you know, is always a big concern down in the swamp. Not for the fans, but for the buggies, like Texas Law. Earlier, Steve Evans took a look.
When you drive uphill on a warm day, your engine temperature always goes up a bit. That's because the engine is under a load and creating more heat than it would loafing along on a flat surface. Well, swamp buggies for years have had an overheating problem because the bottom of the swamp is tacky, the engine is always under a load. How many times have we seen hoses stuck in every orifice trying to cool them down? Well, Texas Law and some of the other teams have gone to a real racing radiator made out of all aluminum. They've thrown away the junkyard models in favor of this. It dissipates heat much, much quicker, and it holds more coolant. Now, they're not cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than cooking a motor.
You can be sure that Bonnie Jolly has one of those aluminum radiators buried inside a Fatal Attraction. She's going to match up against Jimmy Dorian, Texas Law, Phil Macias, and Even Steven.
And this is the stock class final. Winner goes to the Big Beach. And all of these buggies have proven themselves today with heat wins. Bonnie Jolly, Jimmy Dorian, Phil Macias, and Even Steven.
It's important when you flag off a race that you hang on to the cigarette.
Oh, it's crucial. Bonnie Jolly, Jimmy Dorian, Phil Macias. Can Bonnie get the whole shot again? She sure did.
Boy, Macias got one heck of a jump, but Bonnie Jolly is showing just how much horsepower she's got in the middle of that Fatal Attraction, but the guy to beat is obviously our boy out front of Texas Law. That sucker is gone.
He really is. This is a bit of a surprise, but I tell you, Bonnie, maybe it slipped out of gear, whatever. Something caused her to just hesitate enough for Texas Law to get out front, but Bonnie's coming. Bet on it.
She can't see where she's going, though, Steve. That's on board with Buggy Cam.
Well, you kind of got a built-in sonar if you're experienced enough in the swamp. Look at this there, side by side, Bonnie Jolly on the inside, Texas Law on the outside.
Those are some mean old butts in the middle of that backstretch back there. And look at Bonnie wrestle to the inside.
Oh, that was she. Oh, what a gorgeous move in that corner. The perfect radius around that turn. Bonnie Jolly ahead. Well, you can see by how much.
She's got enough.
Bonnie Jolly wins the closest race of the day and moves into the intermediate feature. Whoa, that was a good one.
Boy, did she do a great bit of driving, because when she came off of the line, she was in third place and looking like her day was done. But Bonnie Jolly got into the throttle on Fatal Attraction, and this little lady drove her heart out to get the win over Texas Law. Look at as they come up the front straightaway through the Sippy hole, she'll already start celebrating before she gets there. She knows this one's in the bank. Well, Don Jolly's day is done, but he's enjoying it. Riding along with his wife, Bonnie, is back in the paddock area waiting for Steve Evans to catch up for an interview.
Bonnie, that was some aggressive driving, kid.
Oh, God, was that great. Oh, I thought he had me. I didn't know who finished on the finish line because I could see him beside me. I didn't know where I was or who came across actually first.
That inside move was dynamite.
Oh, I thought I had a bad lane. I really did. I thought, oh, well, when I hit that concrete wall, it's going to bury the hole because it's been getting through that hole really bad right there.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, well, that was great.
See you soon.
Bonnie Jolly and Fatal Attraction go on to the intermediate feature. Stay with us. We're going back to the swamp.
Now, for your home and shop, one amazing blade that cuts through practically anything. This is new Multi-Disc. It's safe, it won't break or shatter. It's amazingly flexible. It will never bind or kick back your work. Multi-Disc cuts through this rock-hard ash baseball bat. It cuts through copper and iron pipes. Plastic pipes are cut off clean. There's no melting. Multi-Disc is diamond and carbide throughout. As its powerful edge cuts, its sides grind a beautiful burr-free edge. It's one of the best grinding wheels on the market. It shapes tile, grinds away paint, rust, and debris in seconds. Call toll-free or send for multi-disc now and start saving hundreds of dollars on single-purpose blades and wheels. Multi-disc does it all. Stop aggravating blade changes. Use the same multi-disc to do hundreds of jobs. It saves you time and money. Best of all, multi-disc will work on any rotary tool in your home or shop. Put it on your household drill and it cuts like magic. Grind off stripped screws or rusted bolts easily. Multi-disc cuts like a blade and grinds like a wheel. No ordinary blade can do that, and you can use it on any rotary tool you own. Compare multi-disc with expensive steel blades for cutting Formica. Multi-disc sands while it cuts so there's no chipped edges. Call or send now. Cut perfect angles and grind curves in ceramic tile. This versatile tool cuts picture frame perfect moldings and trim. Hobbyists love it for detailing plastics, metal, and wood. Now you can take care of your own car. Remove all that paint, rust, and excess body filler. Now, in this limited time offer, you get 2 multi-discs, a universal arbor to assure they'll fit all your rotary tools, and our unconditional money-back guarantee, all for only $12.98. Order now.
Every time they strap themselves in, they put it all on the line. They force the issue and sometimes push too hard. In a world where the news moves as fast as the sport itself, take it to the leader. Inside Winston Cup Racing for up-to-the-minute, state-of-the-art coverage from the whole world of NASCAR. Inside Winston Cup Racing, tonight at 7, 6 Central on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Memorial Classic, the Florida Sports Park, home to the Mile of Mud here in Naples, Florida. Ralph Shaheen and Steve Evans with you at this American Sports Cavalcade Classic. Well, it's time for the Pro Mod Finals, and Leonard Chester's got all kinds of problems. Steve caught up with him before this heat.
Well, Leonard, you and you guys have had a chance to look at it. What do you think?
We're going to give her a shot.
Even if you blow it up?
We blow it up.
What is the problem?
We don't know. We shorted out wires and everything, and oil pressure dropping. You got to cross the line to win.
Well, let me guess, you're not going to take it easy either, are you?
No, I don't take it easy.
Evans, I thought you were an expert at this stuff. He told you when he got out the last time there's something wrong with the something.
Well, they couldn't find the something, apparently, but that's the one is in the final of the Pro Mod class, and that's what a lot of the fans here care about, the natives of the Glades. Albert Doria, well, he's got a lot of fans out there, too. And Doria has been very, very consistent over the last year or so in Swamp Buggy competition. They run some other smaller races when we're not here. But Leonard, his problem has always been mechanical, usually in the chassis, breaking some suspension pieces or breaking a wheel. He's been on the hook a lot. Whoa, what a start by Doria.
Well, he knew he was up against Leonard Chester, and that's a tough guy to battle against, so you got to get all the advantage you can. Jumping out of the gate first is a big one here today.
And also cutting off the competition and putting him in a mini version of Niagara Falls doesn't hurt. But Leonard's got the good line now. Look at Leonard, the orange buggy on the inside. Leonard almost flipped it.
That is veteran experience on the mud coming through there, Steve. He got right up into the inside as far as he could go, taking advantage of that shallower water over there, and he's really motoring along.
And Leonard's quote is ringing in my ears. I never take it easy.
He never gives up either. He's going to ride that beast until it blows. And look at Doria.
Doria had the rear wheels 3 feet out of the swamp. This is a dog fight. This is a swamp fight. Doria now takes the lead. Doria across the line. And Doria will go to the big feature. Leonard's 2 big feature reign has come to an end. But I tell you, he put on one heck of a show. Both of them did. But you can see what I was saying earlier. Doria is just consistent. Maybe not the quickest lap, but he always makes the lap.
Watch this car buck right there. Had that nose gone another foot down into the drink, he'd have nosed it in and flipped it over like a hydroplane boat or one of those offshore power racers. Now, right here is where he makes up the ground on Leonard. Gets a good run off the outside, and somewhere right about here, it looked like Leonard's buggy really gave up the run. See, it just slowed dramatically. And from there, it was all Albert Doria to the finish line and a chance to talk to Steve.
Whoa. Albert, I thought you were in big trouble there for a second.
I thought so, too. Leonard Chester's a handful there.
What did you do to get this thing back down?
Back down. I just steered it out and did the best I could there. Kept it in there as much as I could and just did the best I could.
And I'll tell you, it's healthy. It's ready to go again.
Yeah, it's ready to go again.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a classic in the swamp.
Now, Albert wasn't the only one doing a good bit of driving. Watch Leonard Chesser here. Up on 2 wheels, right back down into the swamp he goes. Great bit of driving by Leonard Chesser. Here's Steve with the dethroned king.
Well, we can't leave here without saying goodbye to Leonard. I know you hate being on the losing end, but what an exciting race.
Everybody's got to have one to win. You know, that's what makes racing.
Well, I tell you, you were both in trouble at one point.
Yeah, we was there. We was bumping in there. It was close, though. Just the draw of the field cost you a race today.
Well, the oil pressure didn't appear to be a problem.
It came on, but the motor stayed there. It didn't go under 35. Just the light come on, that's it.
That's a good motor.
Maybe I saved it.
Okay.
Luck of the draw is what it took to dethrone the king.
Thursday night, the TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland continues. Charlie and Lorianne welcome NHRA drag racing king of speed Kenny Bernstein to Music City tonight. Plus NASCAR Winston Cup driver John Andretti. And look for your favorite racing superstars all next week on Music City Tonight and the Ralph Emery Show. It's full throttle fun as the TNN Salute to Motorsports at Opryland continues.
Country Weekly, the national magazine devoted exclusively to country music's hottest stars. Every action-packed issue brings you the latest concert schedules, music events, and news from the country music arena. Learn the exciting electric slide and the fun-loving, foot-stomping, popular tush-push, and find out why country's hottest ladies are dyeing their hair red. To an inside look at Loretta Lynn's luxurious country mansion, Country Weekly is there.
Country Weekly gives you a look at the hottest albums and videos. It's great.
Country Weekly tells me where and when I can see my favorite stars. My wife says it's the best gift I ever gave her.
Call now and receive a 20-week subscription, all for only $19.95. If it happens in country music, it's in Country Weekly. Order your subscription today.
To order your Country Weekly subscription, please have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-257-0800. That number again is 1-800-257-0800. Order yours today.
Welcome back to American Sports Cavalcade's coverage of the Mile of Mud tradition. We're back, and even though it's my first time down here in the swamp, this I do know. Got to talk to the queen. Steve's got the job.
Well, let's class this act up just a little bit, huh? Meet Swamp Queen Ashley. And Ashley, I got to know, what is your strategy for the dunking later this afternoon? What kind of wardrobe?
Well, I don't wear this gown because it's a little expensive, but I do wear a gown that looks flashy to the crowd, but it's donated by a consignment shop, so.
So you don't borrow something out of your mother's closet and ruin it?
No, I just wear something that looks like it costs a lot, but it really doesn't.
Good strategy, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, you can tell Evans has all the clout. He gets to do the burger story and the queen story. Pretty good deal, Steve.
And I'll do the setup for the little feature, which is comprised of 3 class winners. Little Toot, Jimmy Paradis. You saw what a great battle that was. And also in the little feature, running heads up, this is number 83, Billy Philpott, the cause for divorce. Now, Billy was the winner of the air-cooled class. It's really a motorcycle engine, and he had no cause to worry, really. Pretty much let it wire to wire and took the right to go into the little feature. And the weak link of that kind of buggy is the motorcycle transmission. It just doesn't like all the punishment it takes here on the Mile of Mud. So, cause for divorce, well, he technically maybe should be second. This guy, if you read the rule book and look at past times, Ray Thornton and Cold Duck, he should win the thing.
He's a 4-cylinder, 4-wheel drive winner, and his story was pretty much the same. That's a stalled Roy Ortega he passes in the Sippy hole. Now, Roy's a perennial regular in the intermediate feature, but they eliminated the 4-cylinder, 2-wheel drive class. He looked to be Thornton's biggest opponent in this race. One of those high-tech driving shoes there.
Okay, Cold Duck on the inside, as we anticipated. He just has not only far more power, but he's got 4-wheel drive. And Ray knows this is really not a fair fight unless he breaks down. In fact, he's even suggested they do some kind of a handicap system, but nobody wanted to hear anything about that. This is a swamp. You do it heads up or you don't do it. So Ray's just out for kind of a cruise here, sightseeing, waving at the girls, counting the snakes. Cold Duck has probably been the most reliable buggy of all the years we've been coming down here. Oh, you know, and you loyal Swamp fans may be asking, where is David Sims and Shag Nasty? First time he hasn't been on our show. Well, according to the Chessers, when they went into the four-wheel drive class, the first race they blew his doors off, he quit and sent that helmet to the Smithsonian where it belongs. Here's Ray Thornton.
Here comes the sippy hole. Plug your nose.
Hold your breath. Thornton, he just kind of sits up there on that platform. He just kind of cruises along, singing a song. Oh, we do have a little bit of a battle, though, between Cause for Divorce and the Jeep. Be embarrassing if the Jeep beats the Cause for Divorce buggy. It should. Ray Thornton, he just kind of cruising along, the duck keeping him company. More worried about his watch crystal fogging up than winning this race. And slugging along is Little Toot and Cause for Divorce. Cause for Divorce could get a bigger trophy, and there's some pretty good prize money in the little feature paid out on all you finish. But look at old Ray. He's just come. Where are these guys? They're nothing but a pest.
This is actually turning out to be a pretty good battle here, Steve. They're both going to need to get a good head of steam as they come off that last turn.
Yeah, they will. And if Ray, who, you know, anything can break in the swamp. One thing about the course you can't see, it is always changing where you can't see it. It's never really the same because they push a lot of this mud around and create holes where none existed before. At least in motorcycles or sprint cars, you can see the holes. Yeah, Ray says, I got to put a windshield on this thing.
Driving with one eye shut.
That's it.
Looking at the shoreline and following it along.
Oh, his optometrist tells him every year, Ray, get some goggles. Checkered flag for Ray Thornton. He advances into the intermediate feature where he will be the stark underdog.
Still working their way up the back stretch comes Little Toot and Cause for Divorce. What's turned out to be a pretty good battle for second place. Trying to figure out which Salvation Army store they found all these old helmets in.
Well, I tell you, that motor is air-cooled and water-cooled because there's a lot of moisture getting into the carburetor on Little Toot. Cause for Divorce, he's not worried about that at all. He's got that smokestack. His powder's dry, believe me. Why are you going so wide? They're trying to find that shallow water? That's the long way around.
Yeah, it sure is there. He had a good head of steam going too, Steve. I thought he stood a chance.
Well, Billy Philpott hopes to overtake the Jeep, but it doesn't look likely unless the Zippy hole strands another one.
Well, that shot says it all, doesn't it?
Jimmy Paradis looks over and says, no, 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 no. Go away. You're bothering me. I think the eagle hood ornament is a nice touch on the Jeep.
I'll tell you what, the America's Cup would kill for a race this good. Well, no big trophy here, but they got bragging rights. Till the next time we get to visit the swamp. Steve Evans is back in the pit area, and he's got our winner standing by with him. That would, of course, be Ray Thornton in the Cold Duck entry.
Well, Ray, the only competition you had out there was the Zippy hole. That was pretty close.
Yeah, it's mini features, kind of an easy race. You run against a Jeep and a motorcycle. All you can do is hope you don't break down in that.
You're a little concerned in the Zippy hole, though. You kind of slogged your way through it.
The hole is real deep, and it's really killing the buggy down. It's 2-speed transmission and low gear. It's not even hardly pulling the gear. Just kills the motor.
You're going to need some luck in the intermediate, though.
Oh, it'll take all luck. The only way you win is with a lot of luck.
He's done it before.
Well, the intermediate feature will be coming up when we come back. So you see Billy Philpott, Cause for Divorce, making his way back to the pit stall. Stay with us. We'll be back at the swamp in a minute.
It set the standard in do-it-yourself books. But now, we've made the best even better. Introducing the all-new Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. Everything about this new series is designed to help you do your projects faster, easier, better. New color illustrations walk you through every project step by step. New safety tips help you avoid injury. New caution boxes alert you to the most common mistakes. And a new spiral binding lets you lay books flat for easier use. So now you can save money, get professional results, and create the kind of home you've always wanted without paying professional prices. Begin this feature-packed new series with your first book at a great low price. Right now, Decks, Porches, and Patios is just $1.99. Discover how easy it is to build a deck, from starting the platform to setting the beams, to create something your family will enjoy for years.
Learn the tricks of the trade for putting in a concrete or brick patio. And screening in a porch for cool comfort all summer long. Coming books will show you other projects, like how to remodel your kitchen with custom countertops. You can tell at a glance what tools and materials you need to install a new bath, and do it right the first time. Call now to examine decks, porches, and patios, free for 15 days. Keep it for the special low TV price of just $1.99. Use your credit card and get this Stanley tape measure absolutely free. Then about every month, another volume will follow. Keep only those you want. The new Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. We've made the best even better.
Call 1-800-746-5959 now to examine decks, porches, and patios free for 15 days. Keep it for just $1.99 plus shipping and handling. Use your credit card to order and get a free Stanley tape measure. Introducing the all-new Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. Call now 1-800-746-5959.
Welcome back to the Florida Sports Park. Swamp Buggy races. The crowd, as always, loving a beautiful sunny day here in southern Florida for this annual tradition on American Sports Cavalcade. Well, that's Swampy over there. He's the mascot here at Florida Sports Park. That looked like a fair fight. A little gelato to cool your palate. Here's Evans with another whopper of a story.
Well, folks, A, this is the stupidest piece I have ever done, or B, an audition for Ag USA. But I got to share with you a 98-pound watermelon grown right here in Florida. How do you get them this big? Well, you get the seeds out of Texas. Where else? They cost 25 cents a piece. And you clip all the little melons off the vine so the big guy gets all the nourishment. I can't wait to see the size of the seeds in this baby. See you, Tex.
You're right, Evans. That was the dumbest piece I've ever seen you do, and I've watched you for numerous years. Well, Roger McCandless is getting ready for the intermediate feature. He's got his work cut out for him. Steve's made his way out of the watermelon patch to Bonnie Jolly.
You know, I remember in the movie Fatal Attraction, towards the end there, Glenn Close's luck kind of ran out. What about yours, Bonnie Jolly?
It's hanging in there right now. So.
You know, this is only yours to lose, really. You're the favorite for sure.
I don't know, Radon's pretty good. He's an old-time racer.
You got a lot of power in that, so it's not a stock engine. Yours is the V8.
Yeah, V8.
Well, you're a lot calmer than you were a few minutes ago.
Yeah, really. Boy, that was a tough race. It was a good one, though.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you.
There you see it. That says everything you need to know about Bonnie Jolly. Well, you can see the clouds moving in over the edge of the Everglades here in southern Florida. It's been a great day of racing here in Naples, Florida at the Florida Sports Park. And actually, if we did get a little bit of rain, it probably wouldn't hurt a whole lot because we're racing on water anyway. Well, old Roger McCandless, he's the first into the water for the intermediate feature. Just before the start, Steve talked to him about the importance of where you line up at the start.
I drew the bad pill outside again. The water's the deepest there. My only prayer would be to the inside. #1 pill pick would be my only chance. But points-wise, if I can finish behind her, that'll put me real close to the points for the year.
Of course, that's Bonnie Jolly that he's talking about. They do race here more than just this one time over the course of the year. They don't do it every weekend, but you do want to pick up as many points as you can if you are a regular visitor to the Mile of Mud. Ray Thornton, who won the earlier feature, well, he'll line up on the outside of Bonnie Jolly.
You know, it's interesting. What they call the inside, we call the outside and vice versa. Inside is not closest to the wall where our camera is. Inside is where you see Roger McCandless backing in right now. Inside of the first left turn there, the diagonal. So McCandless doesn't like being out there. He's got a highly modified 6-cylinder engine. Bonnie with a stock, in quotes, V8, even with cast iron manifolds, no exhaust headers or anything. And Koldak, well, he's got some kind of a hybrid 4-cylinder engine. Nobody's sure what it is, including him.
The one thing Ray Thornton is most concerned about right now is getting a good breath of air when that start happens, because he's going to be in a wall of water.
That's a really good point, Ralph. Wouldn't hurt to have a little scuba gear with you. In fact, I called this race one year. Brock Yates and I wearing wetsuits. It was pretty dumb, too. Dumber than the watermelon piece.
All right, that's hard to believe.
There's some kind of an award for that, I'm sure, the dumbest piece of the year. Here we go with one of the biggest races of the year in Swamp Buggy World, the intermediate feature. And Bonnie, again, not only is she quick, the buggy hooks. But look at McCandless. He's on the inside looking good.
Boy, he's right there, and she drove him right into the inside lane, but he never lifted, Steve.
And that's exactly what he talked about in the interview, that was his only chance.
You can see how rough it got on the outside there. His buggy was really bouncing around as he went over the rough stuff where nobody's bending it.
And Bonnie has the kind of front wheels that throw that huge, huge spray. You really want to stay away from her. Look at this, Bonnie. She's smooth, isn't she, Ralph?
Well, it's not exactly anything you're going to be taught at the Bondurant school as far as how to steer one of these things, but she is doing what you have to do to make a swamp buggy go well.
That's right. You have to go to submarine school. These are not power steering equipped buggies either. I mean, it takes a little bit of muscle to get around there.
Looks to me like it takes a lot of muscle, Steve. This little lady packs a wallop, I'll tell you.
Yeah, she's a pretty fit little gal. I think she spends a little time down at the gym. Well, Don Jolly, I'm sure, is on the fence somewhere just hooping and hollering and with his fingers crossed.
He, of course, is already out of the competition. She went upside down last year. She wins this year. Second place goes to Roger McCandless.
And Ray Thornton, where is that boy? Cold Duck. Call him Cold Duck. He's out there somewhere, Ralph. There he is. There's Ray. And even though he's not going to win it, even though he's not even going to get second place, the Duck only knows one way to go around this racetrack, and that is hammer down, wide open. Do they still make Cold Duck? You know? I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with the wine. It just has to do with that duck that's painted on the prow of this buggy-like boat. Or boat-like buggy, whichever it is. Oh, Ray, we will bid a fond adieu. His last trip to the Sippy Hole, and that means, Ralph, we only have one race left.
I hate it when you get a little swamp in your eyes, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Look at Bonnie Jolly. Not everything went smooth for her on this run. Watch the inside of the tire. She's going to lose that big fairing piece Steve talked about earlier. You see it come off? You didn't see it that way? Watch over here. Gotta clean that face shield. No tear-offs on these guys. She's just navigating along. Now she gets to talk to Steve.
Well, Fatal Attraction is going to need some repairs. It appears that inside cover, Bonnie Jolly, came out. And miss, I think you had a miss.
Huh?
I think you had a miss in the motor. It sounded like
it did, and all of a sudden it just like stopped and it wouldn't go nowhere. And I was like, I think it was the water, the washing of the water, because it was like holding it still, and then all of a sudden it caught ground again and took off.
You had no idea you had a problem with that right rear.
No, not until I started to come back in and I heard it clanking.
Now you're going to be the underdog in the big feature.
Oh, I know. It's going to be a tough one.
You're up to it.
Speaking of unusual sounds you'll hear at a racetrack, that saw you heard in the background's a skill saw. When's the last time you heard one of those at a racetrack? That's a bit on the warm side here at the Florida Sports Park. Got to get your gelato to help cool down the old palate. There's a future Swamp Buggy King if I've ever seen one. Of course, I've only seen one, but he looks like a future king. And there's a future queen. Get dumped into the swamp. Everybody having a great time taking in all the sights and sounds of the Swamp Buggy races at the Florida Sports Park. Wonder what a real hunt buggy looks like? There you go.
What's with a bib?
It's not a bib. It's a napkin.
Looks like a bib.
No, you know, I don't want to get stuff all over me.
Well, then why'd you get that Western Whopper? I mean, it's got bacon, cheddar, barbecue sauce.
Because I refuse to live my life in fear.
But you live your life in a bib.
It's not a bib. It's not a bib.
The flame-broiled Whopper, now with cheddar cheese, hickory smoked bacon, and barbecue sauce. The Western Whopper, for a limited time at Burger King.
See? Look at that. Works.
What's that?
That's breakfast.
Now, a brief on the Olympic Games from Haynes.
You know, a lot of things have changed since the first Olympic Games. Take underwear. Back then, you didn't have much to choose from. And forget about comfort. Thank goodness at these games we have Haynes. Much more comfort. And look at the choice of styles and colors. This only came in green and brown. I'm Michael Jordan, and you've been briefed.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASC certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
For over 60 years, Mopar Parts Division of Chrysler Corporation has been building a name for itself. The only name guaranteed to perform in Chrysler Corporation vehicles. Plymouth heavy-powered cars finish first, second, and third. On the track or on the street. Big Daddy Doggone and broken the 270. Always insist on Mopar parts. Alderman and Jeffrey on finish 1-2 in the 1994. Get real. Get Mopar.
You're watching TNN, the Nashville Network, the #1 source for country music, entertainment, and information.
I'm Rick Benjamin on the PM edition of Race Day, where we cap all the action from Michigan, Brainerd, and Loudon, New Hampshire. The best of stocks, drags, and Indy cars all on Race Day.
All you need to know about motorsports. Race Day. Tonight, 7:30 p.m., 6:30 Central, only on TNN Motorsport.
Welcome back to the edge of the Everglades. It's time for the big feature. Steve is standing by with the Chesser clan. Eddie, his wife Kimberly, and his dad Lonnie.
Well, Lonnie, the last two big features, Eddie's been in. You've had mechanical problems, transmissions, whatever. What about today?
But I think it'll stay together today, but I think we got a lot of trouble right here behind us.
Yeah, indeed. I think you do, too. Well, Kimberly, you're smiling. You're confident.
Very. He'll do good. He always does.
What do you say to all this?
Let her eat.
I love it. Let's go. Big feature time.
Let's go back to October of '94 when Eddie and the Outlaw was sporting the Silver Bullet look. Eddie looked to have his Uncle Leonard and the rest of the field covered in the big feature that year. But on the first lap, engine trouble would beach old Eddie.
And that's what we were talking about in that pre-race interview, that Eddie has got to be a little paranoid about something going wrong with that buggy. And it didn't happen just at that race. In fact, the race after that. Same buggy, new paint job, the Mickey's Big Mouth colors. Eddie appeared to have it in hand, but this time it was the transmission that broke, and he gave another present to his Uncle Leonard. So now that we've recapped the problems of Eddie Chesser, you can understand why we had to ask those questions before of Lonnie and Eddie, because Leonard has been the big benefit of their mechanical problems. But here we go. This is live action now as Albert Doria and Eddie Chesser square off. King of the Swamp on the line.
And Bonnie Jolly, of course, with Fatal Attraction will be in the middle of this as well, Steve. And if something goes wrong with either one of these two, she'll be in a great position to claim a victory.
Well, you know, even a second place, I think, would make Bonnie very, very happy. Let's remember, she's up against two real high horsepower buggies. One two-wheel drive, that's Albert Doria. One four-wheel drive, right there, Eddie Chesser. Looks like some kind of a rocket ship. And she has a completely stock motor. But I'll tell you, the way her husband has this thing set up, the way it launches, don't be surprised if she doesn't lead, at least for the first 50 yards or so.
That was on board with Periscope Cam as we get set to go.
Bonnie nearest the camera, the pink and black buggy, then Eddie. Albert Doria, a lot of smoke out of his motor as he brought it up on the converter. But Doria, a buggy length in the first 2.5 seconds. Eddie Chesser in the middle. Eddie trying to light him up, trying to get that inside line, save a little real estate. Albert's no dummy, gives him no room.
And he gets that big spray right up in his face, too, Steve.
You bet he does. Eddie Chesser. Oh, and look at Eddie's power. Eddie on the front straight, first time to the Sippy hole. Blows past Albert Doria and the two-wheel drive buggy. You would think having that extra set of drive wheels would sap a lot of horsepower. Maybe it's made up for in performance. Oh, man, this thing is stuck. Woo! The Mickey's Big Mouth Special. Eddie Chesser, second generation swamp driver. Looking for a king title, and he may get it here. Bonnie Jolly, not a factor. Doria, not much of a factor right now.
He's the one eating all the water as Eddie gets the win. Finally, he is king of the swamp. Doria is stuck in the water, and Bonnie Jolly is going to get a second.
By golly, that'll be a good payday for her. Huge disappointment for Doria, but the fact that you could run 3 or 4 heats in a final and still be in one piece is a pretty good feat.
Here was the story right here You got Doria right in the middle, the red buggy, but watch Eddie Chesser get a drive out of this turn like we have not seen all weekend. And he comes flying past to take over the lead. That's all it took, as he was able to stay out front and hold on to the win. Here's Steve with our winner.
All right, Kimberly, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. Congratulate him, not me.
I'm going to do that as soon as he gets his hat off. Hey, let the big dog drink today. Those disappointments of the past are a thing of the past.
I'm sure I'm glad. The last 2 races, you know, we had some bad luck, but we were lucky enough for my uncle to go ahead and take them. But we earned it today. And I want to thank my sponsors, Mickey's Big Mouth Beer and Airport Road Auto and everyone else that sponsored me. Thank you very much.
All right, you got any plans for the queen dunking here? Maybe skimmer like a flat stone or what?
Well, I was going to hold under till the bubbles quit, but I don't think that's legal.
No, I don't think that's legal either, but he could at least offer a Mickey's Big Mouth. That was Albert Doria getting pulled out. There's Eddie climbing out of his Mickey's Big Mouth, the big winner. Getting congratulations from his family and friends. Let's go back to Steve with a nervous guest.
Ashley, Eddie said his first thought was maybe hold the queen underwater till the bubbles quit, but he's abandoned that.
Well, I'm glad I don't feel like drowning today, and this dress weighs a ton. I think it's going to hold me down like a weight, so.
It's absolutely beautiful. Too nice for this deal.
Thanks a lot.
Well, it's been great racing here today at the Swamp, and I can honestly say it lived up to what I figured it would be. A promotional consideration has been provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond P Sports.
What could follow the 3 volumes of Diamond P's and They Walked Away series? A 4th, and They Walked Away 4, like its predecessors, captures the most perilous moments in recent motorsports history. Unmerciful tumbles, unbelievable flips, falls, and fires, and in every harrowing incident, the driver beats the odds. Once again, man and machine test their mettle through mayhem in over a dozen motorsports disciplines. You can't find this video in stores. You can't rent it. And anyone who has it won't let you beg, borrow, or steal it. Then how do you get your own copy of And They Walked Away 4? Call 1-800-652-8686 or send $24.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. 1-800-652-8686 or charge it on your Visa, MasterCard, or Discover card.
Well, the queen is about to go in the drink, Steve.
Eddie Chesser, whoa, and he does it with a fine amount of flair. Hey, the tiara stayed on. If the crown stays on, Eddie, it was a weak dunk. All right, again, we've had a wonderful time here at Florida Sports Park, and you can bet on it. We'll be back next year. Of course, nobody had a better time than Eddie Chesser and also Queen Ashley. It's been a week she'll never forget. They take it very seriously down here, the Swamp Buggy Queen title. For Ralph Shaheen, I'm Steve Evans.